Good morning, everybody. It's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the next to last Sunday in May, if you can believe that. How is everybody? Alright, well, got a little bit to go over today. Only one Q&A, which makes me sad. So, please remember, I love the Q&A. Although I do have a decent amount of haul things to show you today, so that's kind of exciting. Alright, so, first things first, we'll go to the one Q&A that I got, which came from Critter Stitcher, asking what fabric I'm using for Haunted House. I probably should have grabbed it. It was actually a one-off from Fortnite Fabrics, back when they very first started doing fabric. Before they created the Fabric of the Month and started doing lines, when they just did the individual, one-off colors. So that's it there. It's sort of a washed out version of it because I forgot to grab it. But, it's a really pretty color. I really love, one of the things I think is really cool that they do, is they do the auctions. I think that's when I actually paid I went a little overboard a couple of times on auctions where I really wanted a fabric and then got really annoyed someone was trying to outbid me. So I think I paid a little more than I probably, under logical thinking, would have paid, but it was worth it because it's beautiful fabric, so, and I like giving them my money, so I don't mind. But one of the things I really like is that they do these auctions so that you have the opportunity to get their fabric at a, so if you don't want, if you like the one-off sort of things, you can get it, sometimes at a real steal. So they do them, I think they alternate between Facebook and Instagram. I try not to buy too much fabric right now because I've got plenty of fabric. Yeah. But they're great, and they're awesome. So, yeah. So that's Fortnite. Alright. So, what do I have in terms of haul? Well, I've got several things. So first, and I meant to show this last week, and the area where I had set my stuff, it kind of exploded, and I lost it in the middle of that, but my friend Kate sent me a birthday gift. It's a needle minder with a chicken that says, "What the Cluck" on it. That came from Mad from Minders. And this amazing card that I need to get a frame for, because I want to put it on my desk at work. Chicken in a tutu. So, that was really fun. And then I got my birthday gift from Imogen, which included this really pretty gold fabric from Fiberlicious. This one is Hidden Treasure. It's nice and gold, and I kind of think this might actually be a good piece for maybe Jasmine's dress from Brooke's Books. We'll see. Got time to decide. So it is super adorable notepad with ghost beekeepers. Because, you know, ghosts and chickens, that's my thing. I'm sure Freud would have a field day with that. And then this really pretty needle minder that I am super tempted to wear as actual costume jewelry. So, yes, so thank you to Imogen for those. Alright, so now, let's see, how do I go about this? Okay, so next, I got this really cool, and I'm going to show y'all the picture of what it looks like completed. So, as a lot of you know, I really love Mary Englebright, and she's partnering with this guy to make doll houses, which I thought was super cool. And so I was checking out his website, and he makes shadow boxes out of wood that are licensed from Mary Englebright. So I emailed him and worked with him on this one to get the Rose Arbor kit for the Stitching Book Club Secret Garden. He very kindly enlarged for me. And it came in, I've got to, and they're really, really cool. They're laser cut, so you get all the fun pieces, and assemble it. And then he very generously also sent me the regular size of the Rose Arbor, as well as a regular size of the Rose Gazebo kit. So I don't know what I will do with them yet. Obviously, they will have to be painted and then assembled and all that stuff. His name, I'll link him below. It's the Gentleman Crafter. He was, like I said, he was very, very nice, very friendly guy. Highly recommend so far. Looking forward to assembling and probably getting the Mary Englebright dollhouse. Yes. But there's also a couple of cottages. He's got some really cool stuff. So highly recommend him. I'll drop his link below. And again, he's the Gentleman Crafter. Then I ran down to Stitche to see if, because he did say to let him know that if it needed to be enlarged a little more in case it wasn't going to work for, in case it needed it for that piece. So I went down to Stitche. I picked up the 2 pieces that I forgot when I was there the last time. Now, these are made by a local stitcher, and I believe her husband helps her with these. Her name is Yulia. She makes these really useful tool caddies as well. I've got one of those. And when I was in the last time, I hadn't seen her in a couple of years, just because of the way timing and things had worked out. And she was there when I went in the last time, so that was super awesome to get to see her. So here's the tool caddy. It's got a detachable cup that I actually use for beading. It's actually, I think, meant to be an Ort jar. A place for scissors, another place for scissors. It has a little minder, a little pin cushion, and a magnetic holder for needles. So she makes these, which are fantastic. And then she also makes these, and she makes several other things too. This will be going to work, and it'll be my pin holder. Beautiful wood. And then this hand-painted pin cushion, which is what I bought the pin for to go in, and now I can reunite them. But look at that pin cushion. Isn't it just beautiful? So, Yulia does sell these. I will link her information below. She is from the Ukraine. She's now an American citizen. And she is working to try to get some of her family over from the Ukraine. So basically, anything that is purchased right now from her, that is what those funds are going to. So I can vouch 100%. I use that tool caddy every single day. I can vouch these are really good quality. So if you're feeling it, I will definitely have a link below for where you can purchase to support her. So she's such a sweet person. She's a total sweetheart. So if you have it in you, and can, please do. Let's see. So there's that. So obviously I went down to Stitche yesterday. One of the things I did, and I left them in there, I forgot them. I did finally settle on a color for the waves in Under the Sea. We'll discuss that when we get there, because, yeah. That's been a thing. And then I also picked up, not that I needed them, but I picked up 2 more patterns, as well as one color of Whisper that I didn't have that I need in Oz, the Oz tree. So I picked up this one. They've got a trunk show right now for Dirty Annie's, who did the Yes, I Am That Mom. That's the hen and the chick. And they had the model for that. It's super cute in person. They also had the model for this one, which is part of her Camper Cuties. It says, "Not all who wander are lost," and it's got a Garrett colored. It needs a little purple to be totally Garrett colored, but basically a Garrett colored camper, vintage camper, with a chicken and a hen. So that had to come home with me. And then I found this one from October House Fiber Arts, which is not a designer I'm familiar with, that says all dogs are precious. And obviously there's 3 dogs that can easily become Remy, Asher, Phoebe. That one will probably be Remy because it's the taller one, and that one will probably be Asher, and this one will probably be Phoebe. But we'll see. We'll see when I get there. But I thought it was super cute. So, yeah. So there is the haul for the week. Now, what did I work on? Alright, well, I worked on a couple of things. So, as y'all know, last week I was working on the Hygge story. And I did get it finished. This one was a very frustrating one backstitch-wise. More so than any of the others. I found it very, very, very fiddly, at times almost a little too intense in its backstitch. So here it is. Yeah, this one just, it was a lot of backstitch. It does look good. I like how it did turn out nice. It's definitely one of those that looks better at a distance than it does up close, which I think is actually true for most of the patterns in this design. When you're right up on it, then the backstitch looks real muddy. But at a distance, it's not so bad. Someone did ask me why I used 2 strands. I actually only used 2 strands in a few spots. But this is one of those where it's a Russian designer, so it's very specific in what you do where for texture and depth. This one I just think almost had a few too many things in it. Yeah, I think it just had a few too many things in it, was the real issue there. I did pull out to work on French Kitchen. And I didn't get very far. I don't know if it was just that I wasn't feeling it that day. I don't know if it was... I don't really quite know. But I didn't get very far on it. And then I didn't really feel like working on it the next night. So I will definitely try and bring it back out again this month. Because I do really love the patterns overall. And it may have just been the part I was working on wasn't exciting me. So I just did this little bit here. I know, so much progress. This was kind of a weird week at work too. Not a bad week, just some very weird calls and other things, and I think it's just one of those weeks, which happens. I did work on Snow White. So I got the top part of the apron done and started up. So what I did, this is the only spot in the entire dress where on the, I guess this would be the vertical page split, where there were a couple of rows where colors carried straight across. On the horizontal, there's only a little bit there too, but it's one of those that I can easily just do like a half stitch for that bottom row and then pick it back up on the top when I go over to that page. So this is the only one where I was worried that I might accidentally create a crease line. So now I can work on it in basically in quadrants, as it were. But there it is. So obviously this is the belt of her apron, and then that's the top part of her corset. So I'm looking forward to pulling that one back out again. And then I worked on Clue 2 of Under the Sea. So, what we have here in the water is 2 strands of 2 different colors of Petite Treasure Parade. Because I was having a lot of trouble finding a color that, because the modeling with the blue and the green, a lot of the good colors that looked watery blended with fabric. Or skewed to gray, skewed to green, screwed to purple. Skewed to purple, not screwed to purple. Skewed to purple. So this is what I ended up going with, and I'm actually really pleased with it. Okay. So it looks nice and watery. And then what I did up here, I used wool for her hair. But what I did on the goggles, instead of doing the, to make it, give it that glass effect, I actually took 1 strand of the Kreinik Easter braid blending filament and did the top stitch over. There were 1 or 2 where I did a second one because the first one just didn't, either twisted or did something odd. So that it gives the effect that she's got, you know, glass in her goggles versus just being light blue. So, I've got some other fun things, hopefully, potentially planned, depending on how this piece grows. My goal today is to get Clue 2 finished, because Clue 3 comes out, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. So, getting close on Clue 3. Yeah. So, that's what I worked on. So today I'm going to finish up on Clue 2. And then I've got left on the wheel to go. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Wicked Siblings, Pride and Prejudice, Stitching Witches, and French Kitchen again. The new start will I will have a new start next week, I think right after Memorial Day. Oh, and something very exciting that released, JJ Cross Stitch Shop. He does, a whole bunch of these historical minis. He did a Pride one last year that was really pretty cool. But he started doing authors, and he did my beloved L. Frank Baum. So there that is. And that may end up being my new start. We'll see. I may spin the wheel. I may just go ahead and start this. These things happen with me. So, yeah. So, anyhow, that's kind of it from me. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next week.